V'zimrat Vayehi Yeshua Ozi 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 V'zimrat Vayehi Yeshua. Boker Tov, good morning. How nice it is to be here with you this morning. It is, the sun is shining. It's not so gray out today. It's not as windy out today. So there's like those little blessings that when you look ahead at the forecast and you see like, the highs in the 20s for the weekend, it doesn't look so exciting. Unless you love the cold or unless you're not leaving the house, then I guess it's not so bad. But we are maybe feeling what winter is supposed to feel like. So here we are, another week. The Wisdom Wednesday was, is usually our Torah talk. And so because it wasn't, we'll share it now, maybe. Especially because we're only a few days into the new year. And it perfectly aligns for some strange reason. So another week, another parsha, another portion, another teaching, another gleaning, another grappling, another opportunity to open our eyes, our minds, our hearts. So this week's parsha, Vayigash, Joseph reveals himself to his brothers. I am Joseph. Is my father still well? The brothers are dumbfounded. Joseph sent his brothers off to retrieve their father in Beersheba. But upon Jacob's return to Egypt, he was asked a question that I think empowers us to begin to focus on who we are as our authentic selves. So as we fast forward within this parsha, Pharaoh, as we're Jacob's returning to Egypt, Pharaoh asked Jacob during their meeting for the first time, Kama yamei shnei chayecha? How many are the years of your life? Not how old are you? How many are the years of your life? Was that what he really meant? I don't know. It's the question. Could Pharaoh have asked the question implying that he wanted the answer to reflect the number of days he really lived in order to calculate the actual years of his life? So I've been alive for 47 years. And of that 47 years, how many, this is the real of what's being said, or the better understanding, or the personal connection to it. I'm 47 years old. How many of the 47 years, this could be what Pharaoh is asking, did you truly live? Or are you merely existing? How many years in your own life can you say, you know what, I lived those years? Many of us in the lived years identify with the years of hanging out, partying, having a good time, going to concerts, being free-spirited, and doing whatever we wanted. But that's not to say that you're not living in this moment as a different aged person doing different things with different responsibilities. But most of us think when we were living our lives. Maybe it's the college years, maybe it's right after, maybe it's, after your kids are off and on their own and now you're living, whatever it is. How many years of your life, the question was, how many are the years of your life? Does it really mean the age that you are or the amount of years of those years that you were actually living? So the question is, are we living or are we just merely existing? And so many of us go through life just checking the boxes, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, forgetting to do it, doing it the next day, and kind of just succumbing to whatever the demands are of our lives. Sometimes it's society, sometimes it's our own home, sometimes it's our own minds and spirits and selves, sometimes it's for ourselves, and sometimes it's for others. But we leave ourselves little to no room for exploration or diving into what our authentic self looks like. We spend a lot of time when we are counting the Omer from Pesach to Shavuot, finding our own authenticity. We find a lot of time doing this right before Rosh Hashanah as we think about who we really want to be as we enter the new year together. But so many of us feel like there's barely enough time to do much more than exist in this crazy unfolding of life, because it's constantly, we're in this state of constant evolution. But it's not our own evolution, it's the evolution of the world around us that we're just trying to stay afloat in. So there's a Hasidic teaching to share. And I've shared this before, but I think, as we enter this new year together, the secular new year, it's a reminder for us. It's an opportunity to change. Not like the opportunities that present themselves as, oh, it's January 1st, what's my resolution? And by January 5th, it's already in the toilet. Not that. More of an opportunity to open our minds and to be encouraged rather than check the box. Encourage us to, maybe the box isn't right here, maybe it's a little down the road, maybe we can get there. So here's the story. Two came to a crossroads. One chose this uneven road, and the other a straight, even road. The first, on the uneven road, encountered many obstacles, but at last reached the city. The other had a much smoother journey at first, but near the end of the journey found the path blocked and had to turn around and return. Starting at a crossroads, you chose one way, I chose the other. Uneven, bumpy, but gets there. Smooth sailing, but reaches a roadblock at the end and has to turn around anyway. So we are all on this journey. Ellis likes to say, every time we're going somewhere, when we get in the car, will this be a long journey? God willing, Ellis, life will be a long journey for us. And so the journey is that which is life. There are going to be rough patches. We've all experienced them. Some of us together, some of us as individuals, some of us as just being members of humanity. But these rough patches are what, or the obstacles that present themselves, whatever, provide us the opportunity to allow for self-growth. If it's always smooth sailing, will you ever really challenge yourself? Will you ever be challenged in order to say, hey, wait a second. Looking back on that was really hard, and I can do hard things, and here I am. Maybe the obstacles don't really ever fully go away, but you're existing and living and doing them as they come, approaching them, navigating them, and being able to just stand still in a place is self-growth. This is where we explore and understand and unpack what our authentic self looks like. If we have rough patches, we're exploring. If we're exploring, then we're living. But how can we take that knowledge and carry it forward. We all know it in our mind. We all know, oh, you know what? There's this cliche saying that I can't stand, and I can't stand it more now than I ever could before, which is God gives us only what we can handle. I can't stand that saying. And so we all handle whatever we need to handle, however it is and however we do it. But the idea of life can be easy and life could be difficult. There could be rough patches and there could be smooth sailing. But part of discovering who we are is navigating and figuring out what that looks like. And so as we start 2025, it's not any different than 2024. We only hope that it's a better year or um, a better block of time. And so how can we navigate better? How can we make sure that we have the people that we need on our side? How can we transition to living our lives, even if we want to, in the same manner that we've been living them, but opening our eyes and our hearts and our minds to be able to experience them somewhat more productively, somewhat more empathetic, somewhat more loving, somewhat more driven, whatever those things are. And so, what if we made a list about ourselves and it was something like, who do you love to spend time with? What do you love most about yourself? What brings you passion? What brings you joy? And if we were to contemplate and breathe and slowly incorporate the person that we just wrote about, which is ourselves, into our own lives. Sometimes we don't stop long enough to think, like, what do we even like? For example, yesterday, I went to Whole Foods, which I haven't gone in a really long time. It was, Andrea's favorite place to say, like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And, usually ends up in the garbage. But anyway, that's just me picking on her, which is mean. She's not here to defend herself. But it's one of those things like, oh, they have this, let's try this recipe kind of thing. And I found myself walking around Whole Foods kind of mindless, but totally aware of the void of what isn't there. And I thought, this used to bring me so much happiness. This used to be like, all right, I'm going to get all of these ingredients and I'm going to cook this meal and I'm going to hate it. She's going to love it. And it was a place where it brought me joy to do it. It brought her joy because she loved it. And that was something that was loved. And then when you do it and it no longer brings that feeling, other feelings come up. So I know that on my list of, what do I love about myself or what used to make me happy for whatever it was worth, that doesn't. And so it doesn't anymore. And so we're constantly evolving based on what we've experienced in our lives. And so as we enter 2025 together, here we are a few days in, it doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. It just has to be in this moment of time and awareness that there are going to be naysayers, that there is going to be negativity that brings us like this ripple effect that we're surrounded by it and we can't get out of it. And here we are trapped. But if we try to remove ourselves from those moments and not get caught in this rip current of, ugh, rather we find ourselves in moments of what really makes us happy. What do we really love to do? Who is it with? Who do we want to be around? If we start aligning our hearts with our steps, in other words, follow your heart. I don't know why the words are coming out like that. Our feet should be traveling in the direction of our heart's passion. Accept yourself for who you are. We're not perfect. We all come with our mishigas, our craziness. Figure out who you are. And when you do, it could be years from now. Accept yourself with unconditional loving arms. Don't waste another second comparing yourself to this one and that one, overthinking every decision you ever made. It doesn't matter unless you want it to matter. But the beauty is that you get to decide what that is. And there's something else, which is by far the hardest part to do, which is let it go. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing Frozen here. Let it go. Let go of the past. It's over. Let go of others people's expectations because it won't let you move forward into your future. Treasure your days. We don't know how many we have, and it would be really sad if we continued to live unfulfilled lives, not knowing when our time is over. Rather, also a cliche thing, live each day as if it were your last. Come on, we can't all do that, but we can absolutely bring a little bit more positivity into each and every day of our lives. So let's be inspired by the light that shines through. Let's be blessed with koach, with strength and tikva, hope and determination to fuel our actions. Let our eyes be open. Let our hearts be brave. May the work of our hands be caring, bold, effective, accepting, loving, and let it be for harmony and justice and the well-being of all life. It's a blessing to be with you. I'm there with you, Bonnie. That is bullshit. So cliche. God gives you only. I know where you are. Don't worry. Thank you for being here. Feh. I haven't heard that since my grandmother, Nanny, as she was called by all, and her mother, Big Nana, who used to say Feh all the time. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here, Bonnie and Jenna, Belita, Debbie, Linda, Shah, Bet, Elisa, Amy, for all of you that have been here. Let's continue to be here for one another. 6:30 tonight, Erev Shabbat services. We'll see you there. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and we hope to see you tonight. And if not tonight, we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30, and then our connection continues Monday through Saturday, 9:30. Oh, and Rachel Meltzer all the way from the other coast. A blessing to be with all of you. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you later.